KJ, what up, man? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, my man?
We're making this happen. Finally, we talked about it a bit. We see each other, and we're finally here, sitting down.
Yep. I'm pretty excited, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm fighting the fight.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into it. First, let's get into you a little bit. And man, like what? I don't know if you guys know this about like you and Rashad, and for me, Greg too, coming down to Albuquerque, like what that did for my life. It was it was very eye-opening. It was very experiential for me, as I was an young up and coming fighter with especially you and Rashad in my weight class
Yeah.
ahead of me, um and really kind of letting me follow a little bit, following in what you guys were doing and lead the way. So first, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, shoot, man. Thank you very much. You probably learned real quick. I better get really good because I don't ever want to get caught underneath Rashad again because that
Oh my
sucks.
God. Oh my God. I mean, I can
Yeah.
remember stories, man. Like people throw this word bully out a lot, right?
Oh, that's him.
Yo, yeah, but it's fighting, so it's not bullying,
Yep.
right? Like it's just what it is.
And then later, Tim Kennedy was the same way, man.
So I never got that chance. I never have had the opportunity to train with Tim.
You know what it's like with both of them? It's like one of the biggest lessons I learned, especially with Rashad, is like you get first of all, if you're caught underneath them, like you think of the big picture, and like especially young guys think like I'm trapped under this monster, and he's just suffocating me. I can't breathe, and it sucks, and I just want to die. I want to tap out and quit for time for right now because I can't breathe. And okay, I get a little bit further, and I get a little bit further. In your mind, you think like I want to get up and free and away from him, so I can get back to punching because I know I'm better at punching at this point. And this is early on, and but you can't think about I need to get there because there's so many steps to get there. So you got all these little victories to get there. Okay, I got my feet back in. All right, I got up to the cage. All right, I got halfway up. Then the next lesson was you'd break free from just a second. You get like just a little bit of space away from them, and you take that breath, and that mother take. Can we cuss on that? And that
Oh
motherfucker
yeah, oh
comes
yeah,
down,
yeah. The breath was the worst part, man. You take the breath.
and he takes you right back down again, and you start back to zero, man. Now you gotta start working with that self talk. Like here I
Yeah,
am again. How long? It took
again,
about 3 minutes to get there.
I can, yeah, man. And it was the two of you for me, right? It was the two of you for me. I used to, because Greg would always do this to me. He would put you guys, we would, circles, right, in that
Yeah,
small ass little fucking cage,
yeah.
right? Like at the, I think the second Jackson's, where you
So
couldn't
cool.
get away. And uh I would stay up all night long,
That
just
was the
just
third
petrified.
Jackson, by the way.
What's that?
That was the third
That was the
Jackson's.
third Jackson's. Okay. And it was just, you couldn't get away. And he would put you, like Nate would be my third round. Like he'd put somebody who's my okay for me in my first round,
Yeah.
but I knew what was coming because Nate was going to be my third. You
Nate's
were
another
going to
guy.
be
No
my
pity,
fourth.
Nate, man. He has no pity for you.
No, you know, and then Rashad was my fifth. And I was just like, oh my, like, so you can't even win your first two because
Yeah.
you're like so scared of what's coming down the road. But that process of like breaking you and what you guys did there, uh, it was special. It was really special.
That was special, man. We all went through that. I don't really know if I'm sure some places, but I don't know in a whole is MMA like that anymore. Like a group of well, your place there, but a group of team coming up together that show up to practice when they don't have to be at practice. Maybe they just finished their fight a week ago and they're Elliot's got a fight. I gotta go help him do a circle. I'm gonna go show up for that. Like I don't know if it's really like that anymore.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
We just fell apart up here. We the fight team.
Oh,
It's gone. It's gone. I had to leave it. I
so
had to leave
sorry.
the fight team. I it was too much. It was too
Yeah.
much. But it's sad. It hurts. You lose people.
It breaks
Um,
my heart. I have no idea what happened there, but man, it's just like it breaks my heart every time I see like a little fame gets to people, whatever, and scarcity gets in the way, and people like what's in it for me, and it's just like people change, and it's not the whole. It used to be about martial arts, man, family and group together, and we're all gonna make this dream come alive. And then I seen so many people get hit with a fame bug. I'm not talking about anybody specific, but
Mm-hmm.
with whatever fame bug, and then they change the way they do things. And known coaches, I've talked to them about that. Yeah, I went through my phase and I got out of it. But
Look, man, I'm only going to coach my, everyone knows for me, all I'll say about it is everyone knows where I am.
yeah,
Everyone knows where I'm going to be located every day to teach martial arts, jiu-jitsu, MMA, whatever it is that you want. So if you want to come
dude,
talk to me, then you know where I am. I fucking love it, but I'm not chasing anything, I'm not chasing anything or anybody. And that's it.
I told somebody, I told you this before too, but not blowing smoke, man. But your MMA game, your MMA jiu-jitsu game is unmatched, man. Like, no, people don't really know. Yeah, whatever, man. People don't really know, like, because I like to fight so much. Like, I'm pretty confident. Like, I can go on the ground with anybody in the world. Like really high level jiu-jitsu people, and like if I'm in shape, whatever. It's been a while, but if I'm in shape,
I ain't in shape either, bro.
I can hold my own, man. But going with you, the way you adapted your game to like what I do, that wrestle jitsu kind of thing, whatever,
Yeah.
man. It's just amazing, man. Last time
You
I went with you was like I haven't been suffocated like that since I first started.
but you guys did it for me, right? And you guys did it for me. And that's what the sign, for my opinion, when you talk about real team, real camaraderie, and real people and real growth, it's you have to make the people coming behind you be able to be a little better than you, right? To be a little more skillful than you. And if you're not doing that, like me as a teacher now, if I'm beating up all the students still, like these young guns that are coming to kill, I'm a I'm just not doing my job.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
How did you
Still
get into
feel
this, Keith? What got you here? Because you were on the second season of The Ultimate Fighter, right? Like what was what that initial road like for you?
easy.
Easy.
I was done playing football,
Okay.
and I played football at a small college. I had a wrestling background in high school. I was a LA City champion in a few years. It's not LA City is not the hardest place, but so I had a wrestling background. I've always been fascinated with the UFC. And after I was done playing football, I was coaching football at the college there, and I found myself getting in like starting to bullying people at the bars, getting in like bar fights and stuff. But really not my personality. But I got all this testosterone and rage and something inside of me, and so man, I got to do something. So I started playing rugby. The next day I got in with a couple of guys, and then the next day I joined the rugby team, and there was a rugby game, and I just played rugby without even knowing the rules. And I started showing up to wrestling tournaments, like big wrestling tournaments, like the national championships in Vegas, and up in the training center, like the Schultz Memorial Tournament, things like that. I just started showing up to wrestling, like getting my ass beat. I just needed to do something. And then there was a local you like at the rec center in a
Where do you
small
say
town.
where is this? Where is LA City?
Oh, well, when I was in LA City, that was right now I'm in Las Vegas, New Mexico, a really small town where I went to
Okay.
college. When I'm talking about this,
Okay.
and then I went to the rec center once. I saw people doing like jujitsu and stuff, and like, oh hey, whatever, I want to try that. And then so I said, hey guys, I got this wrestling tournament. Can I jump in with you guys, do some stuff? And then I started working out with them, and they helped me train for wrestling. I excelled at that really fast, and I started to like level those guys really soon. And they were Greg Jackson students, by the way. And then so you need to go to Albuquerque and train with Greg. And so I drove up to Albuquerque and I trained with Greg a couple times and decided I want to move to Albuquerque and learn this fighting thing. And the thing was, what was funny about that, like that's a long story to get to this. It was really about, and that's why like a lot of people that started training before the reality show. Um, there's a difference of people that started training for fights before the reality show, before it became really popular, and then people that came afterwards, because now they're stars, or Diego Sanchez, and later on people want to be John Jones and things like that. But before that, it's just like I want to see what it's like to fight. And at that point, that's what I thought it was. I thought you could go to train at a dojo, and I heard this somewhere, and like, oh yeah, and you go to another dojo, and they'll do like you can fight some guy that's your weight ish, and you can just do a fight, and it's like called Dojo Wars or something like that, like some Bruce Lee shit.
Right.
And like, wow, man, that sounds really cool. Like I would really like to do that. And that's why I started doing that with Greg, and that was the UFC was never the goal, man. Like that was just so far fetched at the time. And then we started doing grappling tournaments, and it became closer and closer to reality, especially with the reality show. And then a bunch of years later, yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting how people's journey start, because for me the UFC was always the goal. Um, I saw it and I learned some, and I learned a little bit when I was still in high school back in New Jersey, and I had no friends, nobody liked me,
What year
and
was this?
98, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So still, yeah. Okay.
So but I've been doing karate my whole life since I was 6 years old, since
Gotcha.
'86, right? And then so I go back to school, and no one ever talked to me. Everyone just picked me, like made fun of me, whatever. And then I like learned a little jujitsu over the summer, right? And I'm like, oh, I know this jujitsu stuff. I tell the wrestlers, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna smash you, because like whatever, why not smash this? Make me feel even worse. And they don't smash me. Like I barely knew anything, but they didn't know any. They could only wrestle, so I choked them out, right?
Oh
And
man.
and then I become like a little popular, because like these kids were like state champs. I came from a big wrestling school, and
Yeah.
then like man, for me, unfortunately, fortunately, I connected fame and somebody liking me in the world with being good at jujitsu and fighting. So then like the UFC for me was the goal right away, because I was like, oh my God, maybe somebody will like be my friend. Because that was the first time
That's
I ever got
interesting.
friends. So
Yeah. That's what sports was for me for the beginning, dude.
because it does that, right? And that's a hard thing to deal with as a young person, right? When you connect the two.
Yeah, I had no social skills, man. But like all of a sudden, like I'm a football star, getting all these trophies and stuff, but I still have no social skills. But like it, but it got me to a certain level, you know.
For sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it, man.
yeah,
Um, so man, you had like the reality show, and then you've had some early on in the reality show too, like season 2. And then you had some really like massive fights. And I know for me, my problem, for example, and I remember you were standing there, Keith, and Rashad was the one yelling at me, because I was always in my own way. I had no self belief whatsoever. I was like, oh,
mm,
I'm not ready to fight Chuck yet, because blah blah blah,
mm.
and I could come up with all these reasons, that were true, quote unquote. But Rashad would yell at me like, Elliot, you motherfucker, what are you talking about? If they call right now, you're ready, you know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like now in my life that I know I'm ready, like 5 years ago. But what were your massive fights like? Because you were
Well,
always the go ahead. Sorry.
it's interesting what you're saying. Like acting got me close to that more than anything.
Okay.
I was good in like when I fought Chuck, when I fought Forrest, when I Brandon Vera,
Oh, we have him in
Rampage
common, don't
Jackson. I
we?
lost that fight. It was one of my favorite fights. It was really close, and um, all these fights I was the underdog,
Right.
and and like
Massively so, probably with Chuck, right?
yeah, yeah, and I could do that, man. Like I can get that chip on my shoulder and be like fuck this guy ain't better than me. Like, and it becomes a fight, it becomes a real fight. And like fuck
Right.
you, man. Like you, especially get hit or whatever, and like oh that whatever clicks on, and it becomes real personal and all the things. But I couldn't carry the weight of being the favorite. I didn't have the champion
Uh,
mindset, man. I couldn't be the champion. Like that was never in my cards because man, if I was the underdog, man, if I was a favorite, man, there's just too much pressure. I got to do this and I got to do that, and I got really mechanical about the way I fought. Like I'm going to step here and I'm going to throw this punch, and I'm not in the moment. I'm not surviving. You know what I mean?
you're
And I'm
not present whatsoever.
not present at all, man.
Right.
And that's why when I got to a certain level, a couple of my fights early on, because you're the underdog just trying to make it, nobody thinks I'm shit. Now people think I'm something kind of, but I'm not that big. But still, this guy's way better, so I can beat that guy. But you should destroy this guy. Like, oh,
Right.
you know,
Right. Man,
yeah,
that's interesting how you and I were the opposite,
really,
Yeah, you and I were the opposite for sure. Because like for me, when I fought there, I was a massive underdog, you know,
yeah,
and and I was scared
yeah.
shitless. But like to the point, Keith, where I wasn't going to go do the fight.
So that fight never happened. You never actually fought that fight.
No, I did.
No, 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 but you never actually did.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You know, but
That's what
like,
kills me in both. So the fights like the Mandalay Silva, like that fight I was on, man. I was good for that fight, man.
right.
Like I was hungry and I was good, and and he baited me for this thing and caught me with a big punch right behind my ear over. Like, man, I don't know what it was like to fight that fight, you know, like, oh, I don't care about winning or losing, but I don't know what it's like. Or
Right.
something where you fold, like, you don't really know what it was like to what you could have done against Brandon Vera. You don't really know, you know?
No, I do. I do. It happened for me actually.
Okay.
Like, man, I was sitting. It's those moments in your life when like you can just recall it right now, like
Yeah.
exactly what you were feeling. That fight is that for me. I was sitting in the corner at the third round. It was a super close fight. And Greg was like off to my right over here and talking, and he just I remember the words he used exactly what he said to me, and then I went out and I fucked Brandon Vera up, just fucked him up. And
What happened, man? Tell me what happened.
in the
What were the
fight,
words? What were the
he looks
words?
at me and he goes, "Fire Marshal." He goes, "This could be it. Right? This could be the end of your career. So can you go out there and give me everything? Give me every single thing you've got, and then that way we can be happy at the end." And I said yes.
Wow.
I said yes,
And you went for it.
and I just went for it, and I just went
I'm
from, and I
sorry.
killed
I'm
him.
sorry, brother. I don't even know about this fight, man.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I think
This is your last, not your last
that was
fight.
my last fight.
Oh, you know what? This is after I was retired, right?
You were retired. Yeah, you were
And
retired.
I wanted nothing to do with MMA at
Nothing.
all.
I know. Yeah, that
Yeah.
happens to a lot of us, right?
Yeah. Now
So
I'm cool, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, man, it was just one of those things where, yeah, and Greg could bring that out of me.
How did you
And
beat him?
I didn't beat him. I lost.
Oh, you just said you went.
I killed him, but somehow. So uh I knock him down twice in the third round,
Yeah.
and he survives. And then we get up, and then he gets up, and I take him down, and I break his arm. And I break his arm with 3 seconds left. And his arm pop, 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 and it breaks. And then like it breaks and he pulls it out because it's broken.
Yeah.
And somehow they said I lost, man.
Oh,
Like somehow they said, like, but whatever, it's
it doesn't
okay.
matter. Like,
Doesn't
man.
matter. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's okay, right? It's okay. So
It's still a fight, man. It's not a points game, whatever. It's still a fight,
it's
and
still a
you
fight.
know what happened.
One
Yeah.
person got fucked up. Yeah, for sure. And we
Yeah.
all have these fights, right? Maybe somebody has that fight against me where I pulled it out, and
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, it's so interesting how it's opposite sometimes for people. Because and especially like when I was the favorite, I'll go fuck you up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
go fuck you up, right? If I'm the favorite, let's go. You know?
Yeah. I feel that with you, man.
So because once I got you, I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
Once I
No, no.
got you, I got you, and you're
I
never
feel
getting.
that just from rolling with you, man.
Yeah, because I figure it out. Once I figure it out, and I
Yeah.
know it's over, you'll never beat me again.
Yeah.
But it's when I have doubt, and then my doubt can creep. It's such an interesting thing, like for us being total opposites, right? Because you were like, when I'm the favorite, fuck. When you're the underdog, let's go. And for
Yeah.
me, and when I was the underdog, I'm fucking sitting in my room crying, in my hotel room, just petrified, scared.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry,
anyway,
man.
yeah, it's okay.
I used to tell Wink to tell me that if there's ever whatever, if I feel like I'm not going, whatever, just tell me to quit, man. Just tell me I suck and tell me to quit. Because that'll turn me on.
That's so funny how that shit happens. What does it for each person?
Yeah, he never had to do that though.
Good. So look, and we talked about it just right before. Fighting ends for all of us, and like you went through this stage of fighting ended, and you had to do something else, right? Because I mean, as big as your fights were, life still goes on, and we didn't get paid at all, right? Like not at all.
Not
So
really, man. Just enough. I was in a weird position. I told you I turned off MMA for a while because I knew in my heart that so I would go around the world. I'd go to Denver, Montreal, I'd go wherever. I'd spar with everybody and whatever. I don't care. I knew how good I was and how good I could be. I was good enough to be champion, man. I've fought in so many champions, beat some, lost some, I was good enough, But I never succeeded in that way. And there was something wrong. And like, so at the end of my career, now I look back at my career and I love it. But it was such a letdown for me. Like I lost a fight that I really should have won, and a lot of things added on there too. And like, so I just, I guess because it was kind of, I felt like it was kind of a failure. And my body, I was so sick, man. Like my hormones were way down. Like I destroyed my body. And like I'm healthier now than I was the last like 4 or 5 years of fighting, probably 3, 4, 5 years. Um, and so I was just in this depression, trying to recreate my life. And what do you do, man? Like you're kind of like I go into, I don't walk into a mall, but for example, I go into the mall and like I'm going to be recognized by like 20 people, 40 people, walking through the mall. Like I'm
Right.
a household name kind of, but I don't make a lot of money. And like, what do you do? Do you get a new job, learn a new career at in your late 30s?
Right.
And and so I was in the thing, but I was always passionate about movies. And so I already had my SAG card then. I got that. That's the best thing I got out of that Chuck fight. I got that SAG card. I got a movie from that called Gamer. But so I really went hard to be this actor, man.
So SAG, just for everyone, Screen Actors Guild
Yeah,
card.
yeah, which is so valuable, man.
Right.
So I tried really hard to be an actor, and spent all my money flying to LA for auditions and all that. And like I'm getting all deep in my credit cards, and I'm getting down there because I didn't have much money, but I'm still trying to live this dream of being an actor. And then finally, at the same time, I got two jobs at the same time. I got a stunt called on a stunt job on Transcendence, and at the same time, I did an audition. One of the coolest things I ever done, Elliot. I got they flew me into I flew myself to LA for this audition for this. My manager said they got this thing here that they're trying to cast this role. It's come up a couple times. They can't cast it. And then so I fly to LA and do this thing. They won't give me the sides. And I'm sitting in the room and they give you the sides right there. And it's a cold read. Oh fuck. Um, this is for a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Paul Thomas Anderson's like the Akira Kurosawa of American cinema. He's the director's director.
Okay.
There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights, things like that. Like this is the guy, and I'm reading for his got going. We can keep going into a lot of things there too, like the nerves too, like to actually read in front of somebody. Like I was a guy in high school that in whatever elementary school, whatever, and when you have to read passages and stuff, you read you figure out your spot, and I'd read ahead so I wouldn't stutter through the words. I had dyslexia, but I didn't know what I did back then. And so I have a hard time just cold reading. So I went to the room and I read these words for like an hour, and I went back in and I did the audition, and I got the part, man. So I got this huge part, and I got the stunt job right at the right time, man. And it gave me a little bit of money to keep going and following the dream. Other than that, if that didn't happen, man, I have no idea what I would have
What
done.
year was that?
Oh, let me guess. It was 2000, around 2013,
Okay.
2014, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, and then things started clicking in there. Stunt saved my life. I got a lot of stunt jobs, and I started getting more and more acting jobs. I started taking acting a lot more serious, and I learned the art of it because it's way more competitive than fighting. Like people be going to college and going to theater and working on Broadway and spend their whole lives, kid actors trying to get the same job, acting their whole life trying to get the same job you're doing. And it's a craft and it's an art. And only when I started to respect it that way was I able to get these jobs. And anyway, I'm rambling about some stuff, but
No, it's okay. It's good. People need to,
yeah,
I think it's important, man, because you chase this glory thing of fighting, which we all chase.
yeah.
And you were a household name, right? You did fight champions. And at the end of that, you feel like it's very depressing. I think it's very depressing for all of us to come to terms with it because you
People
feel like
call
a
you champ.
failure.
People, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And people call you, hey, what's up, champ? And like
And you're
there was
like,
that like it's kind of like a knock, like, well, I was never really champ.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody all the
yeah,
time, every day, somebody calls me the champion, the world champion. Not every
yeah.
day, maybe once a week, right? And you're like that. Just stop that. Stop that because like no, like that. I didn't earn that term.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't earn that term.
So funny, my man. Yeah, so then acting became like I've had to learn how I had to learn more about my self-confidence and all the stuff more in that than fighting for
Okay.
sure. Because fighting, like for me, like I knew I was tough, and I knew no matter how scared I was, like some of my fights, like when I fought Forrest Griffin, I was a wreck. um I wish the building would just fall down on top of me and something would happen, and I wouldn't have to do the fight. And then when standing in the cage before the fight, like, oh, this is great, I'm ready to go. And then we start fighting, like, oh, this is fucking awesome. But because I know once I knew once I get in the fight, especially once I got hit, like now it's just a fight, I'm gonna be okay. You know what I mean? But when you go in that audition, man, um, my first audition was Breaking Bad for this little tiny nothing role, and
In the bar.
yeah, it was nothing. But I remember I was standing in there. No, this was another role for that. Actually, I did
Okay.
that, and then that was a stunt job actually. And they asked me to come back for another read for another role, and I'm coming back. And the first time I got, so you walk into his room. It's so similar, Elliot, to fighting. You walk into this room. This is my first time ever doing an audition, and okay, so I'm just kind of standing there at the door, and there's a row of people sitting down, all have their paper, looking at their lines. Another row of people, and there's a room off on the corner, and I'm standing there like, okay, like I'm here. What do I do, right? And then somebody comes in behind me and signs their name down on a paper next. Oh, okay, so I sign in here. Yeah, so I signed it here. So and these are all professional actors, mind you, that are sitting there, like trying to get this job, and they're just trying to pay the rent. Like this is their job, this is their profession.
It's their life. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm playing at this point. I'm pretending, and okay, so just like fighting, dude. Like you know how you're on deck for fighting, and then the person comes in, they do their fight, they do their read, and they come up and they're oh, you know how people come back to the locker room after they just did their fight and their energy changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
High five, everybody! I'm out of here. And everybody else is still nervous, right?
Shit. My turn. Two away. Shit.
And then you get that Keith, so they'll call somebody in, and Keith, you're next. Oh fuck! Now I'm okay. I'm getting my lines down. I'm gonna do this. Well, okay, I'm gonna say this. Well, they say that. I say this. Whatever. Trying to just like you fight, you're trying to remember your strategy, right? And then the person comes up, gets beat up or whatever, and they're out of there. And now Keith, you're up, right? So now you walk in there, and there's a camera looking right at you, a reader next to the camera, and the casting director sitting down right there. And they're all right. Are you familiar with the role? Any questions? Whatever. No, I don't got any questions. All right, let's go and go. And
Dude,
you
it's
got to
so
go.
funny how opposite we are with this
What?
because like I'm getting into some speaking
Yeah, yeah,
and I've done two talks. Like the first talk I ever gave was a TEDx talk, a TED talk. And because of and I had to memorize it, right? I had 16-minute speech memorized. And because of fighting, it was a fucking breeze for me.
wow, dude.
Yep. And then I just had another one a couple weeks ago, right before Christmas, where it had to be an hour long memorized talk. And I was like, again, it was like I was just like, this is fucking simple because
No
of
way,
fighting.
dude.
Yeah, man, simple. I fucking loved it, bro.
Right
You know?
now, right now, I could not do that right now. I would freeze up and I'd be scared
Yeah.
out of my mind.
I have a system. Somebody showed me a system of how to memorize and done. Done. Great.
Yeah.
Let's go. How long you want me to go? You want me to go 2 hours? I'll go fucking 2 hours.
Can you tell me real quick your memorizing system?
Yeah, you memorize, you break it up in parts, right? So you tell stories in each part, right? Like, so part one has these two stories, right? Part
Yeah,
two has these two stories, blah, 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 however many stories it has, right? So you memorize part one,
yeah,
okay? And then you memorize part two. And then you don't go on to part three. You go 1, 2. So then
yeah.
once you can put 1, 2 together, then you go part three. And then you go, okay. Then you stop and you go 1, 2, 3. So you just know that where one story picks up, you just have to memorize stories and then know, okay, when this story picks up, this is the end of part two. I go into part three.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And then I mean, like an hour straight, no problem. I mean, they even let me bring my notes up there. I didn't have to look at them one time.
That's pretty good, man.
But yeah, it's so funny how literally like you were great being the underdog and not great being the favorite, and I was the opposite. And for you, that is more nervous. I'm like, and you're like, I'd rather fight. I'm like, fuck no, I don't want to fight. Put me on a stage.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. Man.
Oh, that's fucking great. So now, like, I think it's cool, man. I just watched the clip that you just sent me,
Oh, thanks, my man.
and I fucking love it, man. Like Cowboys in there, right?
Yeah.
And
Tate.
you and Tate kind of started this journey together, right? Of acting, kind of you had the coffee, caveman coffee.
Yep.
And I think it's cool what you're doing, right? Like involving ex-fighters and go ahead.
I'm starting all over again, Elliot. About 2 years ago, I realized I rebuilt myself so many times, my man, and where's my career going as an actor right now? Like and what rate is it going at, you know? And what do I want to do, and what do I like doing? Well, I like working with writer directors, like being part of the creative process. I don't I've done some big network stuff, and it's just like they just plug you into the machine, and it's just like you it's not even an art. You just say your words in a certain way, and then you're out of there, right? You know? Um, I want to work with creators, I want to work with artists, and so I have great experience with the ones that I have, and what do? Well, maybe I need to learn how to write. Um, so at the beginning of like probably about a year before the pandemic started, I started learning how to write. I would put just like I did with acting. With acting, I would make sure at one point I put 2 hours a day in every day, just working on that art, and then I kind of shifted over. I'm going to spend 2 hours a day at least on writing. Like now it's like up to six, because I'm trying to get this thing done. But so now I want to create movies, create roles that I wanna play in, because 'cause they're not gonna give it to me, so I'm gonna have to create it, and that's what I'm doing right now, and that's what that short was about. Like, I needed okay, I wrote a screenplay that actually's got a lot of legs right now. It's a Western, and I got some amazing actors that wanna do it, some well-known amazing actors. I'm learning how to fund that and raise money for that. I can't direct that now because it's gonna be a very expensive movie, and, when it happens, and, like, who am I? So now what do I need to do? So I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do this short so I can learn how to direct, and so it's gonna be like I'm gonna pay for my own college, basically, and so now I did this short, and that's what you saw. I've been editing it for about, 6, 8 months now, and, it's about ready. It's not there yet, and that's part of, like, 2 folds. I did everything in this, Elliot. I designed the whole the bus station that you saw
Yeah.
was a Subway sandwich shop.
No way.
I turned it into a bus station. Um, I directed it, I wrote it, I'm the co-lead in it, actual role that I wanna do, and the hardest 4 nights of my life was that, man. I felt like I almost died. And then so now that's going, and I'm gonna try and feature off that, and I'm trying to learn how to produce and write and get on the creative side of it, and, like, it's another big risk, you know? I've turned down a lot of different jobs because of this going on forward, and, like, you just gotta believe in yourself and believe this is gonna happen,
You
and
talked here, you said it. You said you have reinvented yourself so
yeah,
many times.
yeah,
People are so scared of that, man. People are so scared, you know, like, I
yeah,
don't know. I'm not religious, right? But I'm spiritual. People
yeah.
are so scared to die and come back to life,
Oh, yeah.
right? We're so scared to die. We're so
Comfort,
scared to
man.
fail. Like,
Yeah,
for me, I like, I just told you I let go of the fight team. Like right now, I'm sitting in failure, right? I'm sitting in failure with that. And all of my insecurities and all of that are just raging at the moment,
yeah,
right? But we got to die and come back. We got to be, live again.
yeah.
What's that like for you? What's that, how have you been able to do this? Because it's not comfortable. It's terrible.
You know, I think you come to a point in your life, whatever you're doing, whatever job you have, whatever situation you are, say at your end of your fighting career, and it didn't really happen this way for me, but just for example, and it's like, well, lot I know where I'm at right now. Um, I know the trajectory I'm taking right now, and like I'm taking a realistic look at myself, and like, where am I going to be in 5 years? Where am I going to be in 10 years? Like, and then do I really like that person? Am I going to be proud of that person or whatever? Like, where am I going? And then, and most everybody, no matter what you're doing, if you're working, whatever job you're doing, like you can kind of know where you're going to be in 5, 10 years. And do you like that person? Do you like that thing, or do you need to change? And for me, it's like, well, I did that with acting. It's like, well, where am I heading right now? Like, my rate's not going very fast, so I need to make a big change. And then, so I made the change, and
But that's scary, man. That's fucking
yeah,
scary because you have to admit like that's scary because
yeah, but you know what's
most
more
people
scary?
just stay right there. Most people just go, okay, I can do this.
Thanks for that, man. But that's what's more scary if you think about it is being 5 years, 10 years, and having regret and not being happy where you are. I don't think anybody ever regrets that, oh man, I should have just stayed the course, the easy course. You know what I mean? You're never like, oh, I should have just, I don't want to knock any jobs because all jobs are art and beautiful, but like, oh, I should have just stayed in that crummy job, because it would have been better. I don't think anybody ever says that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, one of my favorite things is about people give you ever hear Jim Carrey talk? Is it Jim Carrey, the comedian? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Yep.
Talking about his dad.
No.
I think he was I couldn't even tell the story. He was an artist himself. He was a musician, and he probably could have been somebody, and but he sacrificed everything because he didn't think it would have happened for him, and he sacrificed the whole thing so he could just do his job and bring up his family, and he ended up living a pretty miserable life. He said, where like if he took that chance, he couldn't have done any worse.
Don't you think that's most people? Don't you think most people
are happy being comfortable? That's one thing about me and you for sure is we're not afraid to suffer. and I think people that are comfort, like I'm dealing with that with people in my family right now. They're just too comfortable and they don't understand what suffering is. They think they suffer, but they don't really understand. You want to do something, you need to suffer for it. And it starts with little things. Stops with getting a workout in and getting up a half hour earlier and doing a jog around the block or something like that. Like, just train your body to suffer, because there's no the reward. There's never a great reward that comes out of being comfortable.
Yeah.
Like,
it's hard though.
Yeah,
it's hard. You cry, right? You cry. You stay up all night. You think you're going to lose your life. You think you don't know where you are. You feel lost,
Yeah, I challenge myself all the time. I step in cold showers, dude, and I try and make it like it's no big deal. Like, okay, I'm gonna step in the shower and take a shower, and it's cold.
Yeah.
Like, I don't try. Okay, here I go. I'm gonna do. No, just and after a second, oh yeah, this is really refreshing and amazing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it's practice. It's go ahead.
Yeah.
It's this constant practice. Right? Yeah, it's this constant practice, so that when shit actually does get hard, you know what to do. Right. You know how to mentally handle it. It's not physically handle it. It's not right. It's what you can say to yourself in between your two ears. That's the biggest one. Because when you start talking unskillfully there, that's when it all just goes south in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah. In this conversation, the one thing I think about a lot is, again, it's not about jobs though. Like,
sure.
Like, being an entrepreneur is not everything. And finding your own, like, being like a celebrity and an entrepreneur and all this, like, happiness can come from being a mechanic for sure. And there's art in that, and there's respect and honor in that. It's not like being a plumber is a shit job and you should try to be something else, but it is about like maybe you should be a plumber for yourself, or go get another job as a plumber over somebody else. Like, it's like evaluating the current situation that you're in, and am I just being lazy and comfortable, or is this what I want to do?
Right. Yeah,
like,
sure.
I want to say that because I know you don't, but I hear people like that, and like it's almost like they're shitting on the common man that just has a regular job, and like, no, man, like that's, like, we're all common men.
Yeah, no, yes.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying, right? It's not being a plumber is not a shit job.
Yeah.
There can be passion in that, and there can be power and purpose in that.
Yeah.
And there can be passion and power and purpose in bagging groceries at the store.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, it's not about the money. It's about what that thing does for you as a human and how you can give that back to someone else. And that's such a misconstrued thing, right? Is everyone's like, oh, you're just a this. No, you're not just an anything. Right. Yep. But go ahead.
I have more respect for that motherfucker that's bagging groceries at working at Arby's or whatever. And then he goes home and he's doing his, he's practicing his music, or he's practicing his art. He's doing his thing right now. He's sucking it up doing this job. So that one day this other thing is going to be his life,
Yeah.
Like,
or maybe he'll own 10 Arby's. Who fucking knows?
Fucking A, my man.
Yeah, maybe he's going to own Arby's. He's going to have 10 Arby's and he'll still be there packing groceries.
And,
or bagging groceries, because I don't do, for me, Keith, I look at it like this a little bit. I started teaching martial arts and then learned all of these things through martial arts. And that's all I do now is teach martial arts. I don't answer the fucking phone, right? I don't make sales calls. I don't do any of that. I just roll into the schools and I teach because that's what I love to do. And teaching
yeah,
martial arts is not some fancy, fabulous job, right? You're a teacher,
yeah,
and you're an actor, but we've been acting since we've been our whole life, right?
yeah.
Playing in the woods, cowboys and Indians, or whatever else we acted out as kids. It's the same shit.
You know, my favorite thing, one of my favorite things about acting is, I'll say this to you because you'll appreciate this. It's there's a jujitsu involved in it. That's amazing. When you when I'm acting with another actor and things go off rails or whatever, like maybe I'll feel like saying something, or I'll say the wrong thing or whatever, and he'll have to compensate, and he'll answer me in an appropriate manner, and then I gotta like stay in character, whatever, and be in this moment and answer being in the moment, right?
Right.
You're trying to force something to happen a certain way. Like I'm gonna step over here and do this arm bar, whatever's gonna happen just perfectly. Like no, it doesn't happen that way. And that kind of jujitsu is just so beautiful, man. You get lost in the moment, and like that I love that art in it, man.
Yeah. That's the most beautiful thing that we don't realize when we're trying to be a champion, right? Is just that moment sometimes, right? Because you're like, oh, I got to do this right. And my kids are real into sports,
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, stop trying to make that shot, dude. Stop trying to make that basketball. Stop trying, right? Just be in the moment and try to be the most skillful you can be right now. What is the moment asking for? And then just do that, right?
Yeah.
Just do that. Let go of the making or missing, or like right now, my oldest wants to beat me. He wants to beat me at basketball. And I'm like, he's better than me, but he's just not big enough, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to let go of that, dude. You got to let it go and just be in this moment and do the most skillful thing.
That's amazing, dude. And it goes for everything, dude.
Everything. Yeah.
Uh,
KJ, as we close here, I know why, but yeah, this question I always end with two questions. You're my homie, so right, like, and we've been, like that. So I call and ask you texted me actually, and then through conversation, I was like, can you do a podcast? And you're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. But like, you're a busy dude, man, right? I mean, like, you could have totally said no, right? And this you're not gonna get any gigs because of this, right?
yeah.
So like, and we're just like reminiscing and talking about life, two dudes that quote unquote failed at fighting.
We didn't fail at fighting though,
I know.
but I get you, man.
Yeah, we failed. I mean, quote
And
unquote,
there's
right?
real quick, Vandalay, I
Yeah.
know you're getting something, but Vandalay Silva told me something beautiful. I just lost to somebody. Fuck, I lost a fight. I forget. Vandalay Silva was in the corner, and I was down. And what the fuck you talking? What the fuck's the matter? Like he was really disgusted with me. Like, what's the matter with you, man? Like every time you step in that ring, you're a winner, man. Like all that shit. Like it doesn't matter, you know?
Sure. That's for
Yeah,
the other people, right?
yeah,
That's for
yeah,
the
yeah.
other people,
Exactly. That's for the fans.
that's for the fans and Dana White, and he's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
blah blah blah, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, so yeah, I agree with you.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I have failed my way to success, if that's what this
Exactly,
is,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, but why sit down? Why take the time, man? Why take the time and wrap it up?
Wait, what? Sorry.
Why take the time and rap with me, and catch up,
Oh,
and like because there's so many better things that you can do with your time.
I don't know about that, man. Uh, you're my bro, dude, and I would have done this no matter what. But saying I didn't know you, and
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know how to answer this, dude. For because you no matter what I would have said yes. I think I was going through the text. I know you asked me one time before, and that was at a hard time in my life.
Yeah,
And I didn't. There was nothing I wanted to talk about.
sure.
um, but right now I'm trying to say yes a lot more. Um, um, and that's all that's about, man. Um,
No, I get, man, that's a beautiful answer. That,
yeah.
because like right now I'm trying to say yes to a lot. And before I was in a tough spot.
You
Yeah.
know me, man. I'm a close person,
Yeah.
I'm not very my social IQs had to jump up a lot recently through everything I'm doing in my life right now. But like I'm not the best at holding a conversation. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we're doing all right.
Yeah, but yeah, I've worked my way up to where I am right now.
Sure.
I was
Yeah.
definitely like a caveman back when I was fighting.
um, I believe everyone has a unique thing about them that's very powerful.
Thanks.
That, what do you think that is for you? What do you think that is that you go out and you can give that you, and I think we just give it to the world, and figuring out that process of how we give it to the world is can be very difficult for all of us. So what do you think that is, that thing
I'm
is that,
working on that right now, dude. Um, my unique power, my special power is I have the uncanny um, ability to focus and suffer. I
yes,
can
you
shut
do.
off everything else in the world and go after one thing and have tunnel vision and just like eat shit for whatever until I get this thing done. And it happens in a microcosm in say fighting or whatever, where I can just like I can suffer and all right, I'll be all right in the end, and I can still come on top and win. And I believe in myself that way. Um, I can go to training. I pride in myself and training harder than anybody else and making myself or finding a way to like make it worse than it's ever been before and all that. And through writing, like I get so focused and I'm gonna learn the thing. My learning curve has to be high, man, because I'm trying to do this thing that every single actor has a script in their back pocket and they're trying to make a movie. So why am I gonna be special? It's because I'm gonna work harder and I'm gonna catch up to all these fuckers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Eh, I have that. That's what I have. So now to answer your question a little further, like I'm trying to find a way right now to let myself open up a little bit and to give back to other people and find a way to I don't know if mentor is the right answer, but just to be available more to other people, and I'm working on that right now.
I appreciate it, Keith. You reached out to me, right? You reached out to me, and it's weird how the universe does that for us, right?
Yeah.
At certain times, because like I said, I just told the fight team they had to get out of my school, you know, and now
Wow, dude.
I'm the devil, man. I'm the devil, right? I'm the devil. Uh, I'm the worst person.
I can't wait to hear more about that, like, not for gossip reasons, but just
Yeah,
to like, I trust you and I know you, man, and I believe you made the right decision,
I had to, for me, for me and the people I love. And
yeah,
I even lost someone that I loved that I thought would never leave me like this, you
yeah.
know? And it was, and yeah, it sucks. But you texted me, and that, like,
Whenever things become a business, right?
yeah, you
Yeah.
know, but you texted me and that made me feel really good,
Oh, good, my
because,
man.
as we close here again, man, I can't, everything that I accomplished in my life had so much to do with those trips down there. And I don't know what your relationship with like Greg is and stuff like that, but for me, it was Greg, it was you, and it was Rashad,
Yeah,
and
thank
the
you,
other
man.
main person that really did it for me was Dwayne, because Dwayne just beat my ass,
Yeah.
and I was scared. So like for me, uh, I can't ever repay it, right? And that you then texted me to see how I was and what I was doing, when you were like my mentor, who I was looking at you and
Oh,
Rashad,
shit,
right?
man.
So man, I just got to say thanks.
Oh, thanks, my brother, man. It was really special times, man, and like it's to me, it's band of brothers, man. We were in war together, and there'll be that whole connection forever between
Mm-hmm.
you and that team, Rashad, Nate, Marcourt, Shane Carwin, all these guys, man.
Yeah.
Um,
So fuck yeah.
yeah,
Keith, thanks for doing it, man. I appreciate it. Let's stay in contact, man. I
oh, you're
know.
welcome, man.
So that's it.
Bye, bud.
I don't like, do you want, like, tell people where they reach you on social and all that stuff? So, like, let
Yeah,
them, let them
I'm
know where they
easy
can
to
find you and all that stuff.
I'm easy to find, man. Keith Jardine 205.
How much I have mine at 205 too. And I'm nowhere near 205
Yeah, yeah,
So, guys,
yeah.
that's it. Keith, thanks for doing it. As always, remember, Keith has his unique thing, this power that he has in the world, and I have my unique thing, my power in the world. Don't go out in the world and try to be Keith, and don't go out in the world and try to be me. Just go out there and find your own power.
That's it, my man.